Hello everyone. Hello Abdul. I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? Hello Ninja. Oh, straight away to question. How to get details of all failed root accounts along with the errors. So you just need to first see if you just need to download the compliance report. And in the compliance report, you will not see the error details. So after getting that report only, like how many accounts are compliant, and you can put a filter, and then you will get like total number of issues with your root accounts. Then you need to check it on your PVWA server, because sometimes what happens in PVWA and in your compliance report, there is a discrepancy. Like the sometimes what in PVW that account is working fine, but in the compliance report it will show non-compliant. So always check, always perform a manual check also, so that, and this is a non-issue. If you are seeing like the accounts are non-compliant in compliance report, but sometime you will see those accounts are compliant in PVW if you will search for that account. Ninja, all non-compliance accounts are failed on. Yes. If you will see non-compliant, you can just check if those are the, and you can also filter out. If you want to see the root account only, you can filter out the safe and in which safe you have onboarded the root account. And there is also target user. You can just filter out accordingly. You will get the non-compliant reports and total number of non-compliant accounts. Arshad Kamal, can we customize ports in CyberArk? Yes, you can customize the ports. It depends upon your organization. If they want to use the customized port, yes, you can use for the communication, for the vault communication or for any communication, you can use a customized port. Okay, Ninja, how to transfer log files from other component server to utility backup server. So you can start uploading, there is an option. You can start uploading the logs to a safe. I think in the CPM settings, you can specify the which safe your logs will be there. So automatically your backup utility will uh, just backup those log files, backup those logs. You need to put those logs in a safe, then only you will be able to backup, because in the backup your safes are only backup to the backup server. Okay, Arshad, can we get a job as a fresher in Cyberark? Yes, Arshad, like there are some companies who hire fresher also in Cyberark. So you can look for some private limited companies, some small companies or some IT consulting companies. So you can search for and you can get hired in as a fresher also. Ninja, can we automate the authentication change process without logging into the private arc? If you want to change the authentication, you can also change from no, without that private arc client, you won't be able to change. Yes, because for the I think you are asking for some, there is a group, and for that group you want to change the authentication. So you need to go to the your directory mapping only, and from there only you can change the authentication for that particular group. But you can enable this authentication method, like suppose you want to enable the radius or SAML, so you can just directly go to PVW also, and from there you can, from the administration tab, and there will be, I think, authentication methods. There is one option there, from there you can just enable the authentication methods. Arshad, what CTC we can expect after 3 years of 2 to 3 years of experience? So if you have a good knowledge, Arshad, in CyberArk, so you can easily get around, if you have 2 or 3 years of experience in CyberArk, you can easily get up to 8 to 10 lakhs if you have a good knowledge in CyberArk. Okay, next question is, for example, we have two PSMs and I'm trying to connect XYZ server. How can we find from which PSM the connection has been established? So for that, you can check the activity logs also. When you are connecting, there is activity logs also for that. And there in that activity logs, you will get a PSM app ID also. And from that, you can make out like from which PSM the session was connected, if your PSMs are load balanced. And also there is one more option when you will go to the monitoring tab, and if you will search for the account like to which you have connected, which you have used to connect to the target server, and after searching for that you will see the recordings. So just click on that recordings and there is an advanced option in that. So in the advanced you will also see the PSM app ID. So you can just copy or you can note down that PSM app ID, and then you can go to the system health of your PVW, and there you and when you will click on the PSM server, you will see the IP address along with that PSM app ID, app user ID, and then you can just make out from which PSM the connection was built. Arshad, can we discuss about Defender certification preparation? Some guidance from your side. So I would say if you are a fresher, so first I would say try to focus on the basics. because certification is a secondary thing. I always suggest go for knowledge. Please don't go for the certification, because certification you can do after getting a job also, and many companies reimburse and provide you the voucher. It's not mandatory to have the Defender or any Sentry or any CyberArk certifications. If you have a good knowledge in CyberArk, you can easily get a job. But certification is the secondary thing. It's a add-on thing, but not the mandatory. I don't think so. For fresher, the company will be asking for the certification. There might be few companies, but I would say you can say like I have overview knowledge in CyberArk, so after like getting a job, I can go for the certification. So I would say please go for knowledge. Try to get some knowledge and focus on the basics, and then you can just start with your this certification. You can go with the Defender and Sentry and other CD certification. Ninja, how to switch from L2 to L3? For that, Ninja, you should have a good knowledge on the implementation side related to upgrades and DR drill and some high level task like because in some companies L3 is a manager and or L3 is a SME also. So it depends company to company, and L3 is also a project manager or leading a team. So depend again company to company, and you should have a good knowledge in CyberArk. So I would say focus on the DR drill, like how the DR drill is planned, and if there is a critical situation, your production and DR is down, how you will restore the environment, designing the architecture and the implementation, how you plan. So totally you need to have a good knowledge on that side. Then you can easily switch to L2 to L3. So focus on the installation part, the configuration, and how to deal with the client, etc. Arshad, how much PowerShell required for CyberArk job? Is there any language required for CyberArk? No, it's not mandatory to. You should have the PowerShell knowledge. After because PowerShell is generally used for your automation purpose in CyberArk, you can call the REST API using the PowerShell. So it's not mandatory to have the PowerShell knowledge. But if you have a knowledge already, so it's an add-on thing. You can move to the development part and can automate several tasks in CyberArk. So, if as a fresher, I would recommend you. So, please go with the PowerShell also. You can learn PowerShell side by side with CyberArk also. So, it will be an add-on thing, and after getting a job, then you can just show your skill that you also know the PowerShell. So, it will add some weightage to your CV also. Arshad, can you please differentiate PSMP and PSM? So PSMP is a proxy server, and it's a Linux-based server, Linux-based component of CyberArk. And you can only connect to the Unix devices using the PSMP, Privileged Session Manager proxy. But using the PSM, which is the Privileged Session Manager, you can connect to Windows, Unix, database, to any application you can connect to. So that's the main difference between PSMP and PSM. Okay, Ninja, which monitoring tool is best to integrate with CyberArk? So if you want to integrate if you want to check the vault services and all, so it's the SNMP that is only supported to check the status or health of your digital vault server, your vault server. And if you are checking like the monitoring tool, then there are many monitoring tool, NGO, ESCOM. So different monitoring tool are there, and depends company to company which monitoring tool you are using, so that if any service is going down or there is any CPU utilization error to any of the components, so you can just get an alert. So it depends again. company to company. Okay, can you explain about CA architecture and how and what has to be presented when asked in the interview? So in the CyberArk architecture, because in every interview they may be asking this question. So in architecture, you should know about the how many components you have in the CyberArk. Like suppose how many PSMs, PVWA, whether your vault is in a HA cluster or it's a standalone vault. So you should let's take an example. So you can say in our CyberArk environment we have one standalone vault in the production and one standalone vault in the DR secondary site. Then you can say we have three PVWAs, two PSMs, and two CPMs. And if you have the knowledge on the other tools also like PTA, AIM, or EPM, you can mention that. If you don't have, then just only answer about the mandatory tools, like having the standalone vault in the production, standalone vault in the DR side, then two PVWs or three PVWs, two PSMs, three CPMs, and all, and total number of accounts there in your environment. Like there are 50,000 accounts or 1 lakh accounts there, and what authentication methods are you are using to log into the PVW, whether it's the LDAP authentication or SAML authentication. So that's how you can just answer in the interview about this CyberArk architecture. Ninja, how to directly get job into CyberArk? So if you have a good knowledge and like okay, so you want to say directly into the CyberArk product company. So I think if you are asking about the product based company CyberArk, then I would say they have some criteria. You should have that much experience or you should pass out from the selected universities. So if you will apply to that, I have also applied several times to CyberArk, but my CV is not getting listed because they want someone who has graduated from some known universities, or so that's the criteria. So every company has some criteria to choose from. So if you have been graduated from well-known universities and you have that much experience and knowledge, then you can definitely apply to the. You can go to the CyberArk site and there is a career option, and definitely from there itself you can just apply. Okay, thanks. No problem, man. And also, guys, if someone has not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel and also like this video. So, waiting for more questions, guys. Any interview questions on policies management? Um, Policy management, like related to CPM policy or master policy, you can say. The questions like sometimes they ask about the where we can change the password policy for CPM. Like suppose I want a password policy for an account 90 days or for a platform. So how where you can change in the master policies, how to enable dual control, one time password policy. So those are there in the master policy under master policy. And in the platform management you will see like different like related to password change, verification, reconcile, and your password complexity, like the characters, how many characters, like 12 characters or uppercase, that password complexity you can define in the platform. And you can have the different password policy for every each and every platform. Ankit Kumar Singh, difference between EPM and OPM, when to use which one. So EPM is generally a endpoint manager. So using the EPM, you can manage the endpoints, your workstation, your laptop, and you can whitelist and blacklist some application to run on the endpoints on your desktops. Whereas OPM is a Linux-based device and it is generally used to for restrict the commands. Like some commands you can restrict, like because on your Linux server you have root account, some admin account also, and if you want some user not to run this command, so you can use the OPM and you can restrict the command, so that user will not be able to run that command. So that's your OPM. These are completely different. Arshad Kamal, is there any books for CyberArk? So there is an online document available. You can search for docs.cyberark.com. So you can, if you will see the docs.cyberark.com, there you will find every document, latest. So I would say follow that only because CyberArk is keep updating something on to that online stuff. So you can just explore that. Ninja, your website courses are expensive. Please give some. Definitely, Ninja, if you will reach out to me on my mail or on the given number on the website, definitely we can discuss about this. And also, I would say, please, you can mail me directly, guys. So, and because about if we'll discuss about the website and all, I don't know if this channel also will get some copyright strike. So this channel will also go. So that's why I don't discuss about the website and all on this side. This is for the information only. This channel is meant for the information, and I'll try to uh, answer your question if you are appearing for an interview. I'll try to answer everything, and we'll also try to upload some informative videos which will help you out to clear the interview also. Okay, thanks. I'll mail you. Okay, no worries, Ninja. Abdul Rahman, regular access exercise of L1 and L2. So in the L1, if you are working as a CyberArk L1 engineer, you need to onboard the accounts manually and using the password upload utility also, doing the health check of CyberArk, like checking the services of every component, whether the services are running or not, and also checking the disk space on every server, if it's running out of space or not. So these are the main task of the L1, and also you need to troubleshoot issues related to CPM, PWW, or PSM. These some troubleshooting also will be there if you are working as a L1. And for L2, it's generally like more advanced thing, like involved in the DR drill, working on some critical issues, and also like doing some integration, also your LDAPS integration, SMTP, and also checking the your certificates, if certificate is expired or not of your PVW. So and also it depend company to company, and because in some organization you will see L1 is doing the L2 and L3 task both. So it depends also. But generally L2 is like some advanced topic which comes into in under L2. You should have the some implementation also, how the installation is done, how you are performing a DR drill, failover and failback, etc. Okay, what are the next question is what are the scenarios that we can duplicate the platform, and also what kind of questions being asked in DR. So scenarios we can duplicate the platform because it's duplicate only. It's recommended to use the duplicate platform only. So why we duplicate? Because we cannot make the change in the original platform. So because suppose you didn't duplicate that platform and you made some changes in the original template, original platform. So if you want to roll back, like suppose you want to see some old configuration, so you will not be able to see that old configuration. So that's also one of the reason we duplicate the platform and we make the changes in the duplicate platform. And what kind of questions been asked in the DR? So in DR, the questions may be asked related to like the how you perform a DR drill, types of DR drill you have, the failover, and automatic failover and manual failover, and which user is used to replicate the from production to DR, and which is the main configuration file for your DR, and the log files, like which is the padr.ini is the main configuration file for your DR, and padr log is also the main log file where you can see if replication is going smooth or not, if there is an error in the your PADR, you can just explore that. Uh, Next question is where can we check the certificate details? So certificate details like because your PVWA, your PSM and other components also uses some certificate. So there is a separate team for that. Certification authority team will be there. So some they can also set the notification like these are the certificates which are going to expire. You can get a notification also. You can check those and you can replace the your certificate. So certificates are there in your local. If you will go to the any of the server, so if you will search for if you will type a command cert lm.msc, and there you can find out the certificate details in the personal of your managed local computers. You can find out the certificates and which certificate is used in the web server for your PVWA. Arshad Kamal, why we are not connecting to dynamic IP in PV Vault and PVWA? How it is really working in organization? So Arshad, if you are using a dynamic IP, suppose today the IP was different, tomorrow the IP was changed. So everything will be disturbed. Your component will not be able to communicate to the Vault server because how your PVWA and your this CPM and other components are communicating to Vault, because if you will see on every server there is a vault.ini file is there. In vault.ini file the IP of your vault and the port number is defined. If suppose if that IP is getting changed, so how your component will communicate to the vault server if the IP is getting changed, so you will lost everything. So that's why it's always the static only, constant IP will be there which will not be changing. Okay, next question is could you please discuss about load balancing of components and why is it required and how it is done? So the load balancing the component. So in CyberArk we can load balance the PSM and PVWA, and also you can like load balance your PSMP also and your AIM component also. But generally you will see the AIM and PSMP are optional components. So generally you will see your PSM and PVWA are the load balanced. So there is a separate team is there, a load balancer team, or you can say the network team. So they will be configuring on their end. They will be creating some pool, and there are different types of load balancer used. So it totally depends upon the which type of load balancer they are using. So in CyberArk side, and also why we load balance our component. So suppose you have four PSMs. So to distribute the traffic automatically, because if you will in platform management, if you are defining one PSM, so the traffic will be there on that single PSM only. And if you are having a load balancer, so load balancer can distribute the traffic equally to every PSMs and there will not be any performance issues. So that's why we have the load balancer and to distributing the traffic automatically by the load balancer, because we cannot distribute the traffic manually. So that's why LB is required. And how it is done for your this PSM, you need to go to the administration tab, and there is a option, privilege session management, and there is a ID. You need to define your load balancer ID and the IP address and the port number and the object name, your admin object name and your the server object name you need to define. And you can also define the virtual IP of your load balancer, or you can define your, what we say, the FQDN also. You are, if you have some FQDN, full computer name of your VIP, or sorry, of your load balancer. So you can just define that also. And rest of the configuration is done at the load balancer side, and there will be a different team who will be doing that configuration. That is how your PSM is load balanced. And for your PVWA, you need to make the changes in the web.config file, and that's the only change you need to make. And also in the certificate of your PVWA certificate, which you are using to load the PVWA URL, you need to provide the DNS entry for your load balancer, so that when you are using the load balancer URL, there is a trusted communication between your PVWA and the load balancer using that certificate. That's the only thing for your PVWA. Rest of the, again, the thing, the configuration is done at the load balancer side. Uh, Next question is, could you please explain about the group policy, GPO and OU? So group policy, generally, like in your organization, you will see there are mostly the domain group policies will be there. So on your AD, on your domain controller, you have there will be a separate team who will be just configuring the policies. Like for some servers, it will be the different policy. Like for some server, you want to change the password complexity, so you can have a different policy. You want to allow something for a server, so you can just create a different group policy, and you can create on your AD, and you can push that group policy onto that server, so it will be applied to that server. And organizational unit is like, suppose you are creating a server, so you can create the different organizational unit, and in that you can just have the group policy, different group policy. So that's your organizational unit. Arshad Kamal, how we can connect on internet in CyberArk if IP is static? So in your organization, it doesn't mean like if IP is static, you will not be able to connect to the this, what we say, the internet. So you can connect, because every organization does have the IP range. Like suppose every organization will be using some IP range, and within the network you are able to connect to the internet, because internet is enabled. And in organization, internet is enabled via firewall, next, using the next generation firewall, you can allow the internet. It's not related to the static IP. This is related to your virtual machine only. If you are installing in the CyberArk in your virtual machine, so that is related to your VM box only, but not in the organization, because in the organization we have the servers built, and those are managed by the separate team. And you have the, like, the physical servers also. So it's not related to having the dynamic and static IP. You can enable the internet. Okay. Abdul Rahman, could we make DR Vault as a load sharing server? No. DR is not, you cannot load balance your Vault and or DR. These are the critical servers, and the automatically, like suppose your production server is going down, and automatically your DR will come online. Arshad Kamal, they purchase static IP. Yes, they have the range. They have some like range of their IP. So if you will join a company, you will see they are following some range. So it will differ from company to company, which range they are using. Waiting for more questions, guys. Okay, next is Abdul. Please explain real-time architecture of CyberArk in a company. So Abdul, every company will be having a different architecture. So it depends upon the number of accounts they have in their environment, and the depending upon them, they will be having the architecture. So if you are appearing for the interview, you can generally say, like in our CyberArk environment, we have the one production vault and one DR vault, which are on the standalone production and standalone DR vault. And there are three PVWs, two PSMs, and two CPMs. And we have 50,000 accounts in our organization, and we are using LDAP authentication to log into the PVW. And that's like you can explain about the architecture. Waiting for more questions, guys. Okay, any questions or scenarios on IIS? So IIS is the web server, and it's one of the Microsoft feature, and our PWA URL is hosted on the IIS only. So the scenario based question can be, suppose uh, your certificate is expiring, your PWA because you are using a certificate to secure your PWA URL. So your URL is like going to expire. That certificate is going to expire. So how you will be replacing that certificate? So that question just like, and if suppose your PWA URL is not loading and there is some issue with your IIS, then how you will troubleshoot that IIS related thing? And more questions related to, if suppose if you want to redirect a URL, so how you will be redirecting a URL, because you are using a load balancer URL. And you want some URL to be every URL should redirect to the load balancer URL. So how you will be redirecting that? So that those questions may be asked, I believe, on IS, because everything in the IS in your HTTPS binding, you need to add that certificate. First of all, you need to install that certificate in your PWA server. Then you can just bind the in your IS. There is a binding. You can bind your server and you can just reset the IS, and your certificate will be applied. And the path for the port opening. So which port opening you want to ask? Because in your organization, you need to contact your firewall team. They will be opening the port, because you're opening the port on the locally on that server will not work. For your all the components, you there will be an external firewall will be there. You need to contact them to open the port in real time. Okay. Abdul, please explain what is SNMP traps. So SNMP trap is generally like because your CyberArk Vault is a hardened machine. So if you want to check the services of the Vault server and check the health of your Vault, so there are no third party, or you cannot install anything on the Vault server to check these services and monitor these services. So for that, there is a SNMP configuration is only allowed. So you can just have the SNMP configuration with the CyberArk Vault, and you can just get the data, and you can monitor the services, you can monitor the CPU utilization, memory, and only SNMP integration is allowed with the CyberArk to monitor the services and all. So those are the because your vault will be sending some SNMP like the using these traps, and you will be on there will be a separate team for SNMP, and there you will be getting the notification if the services are up and running or not. Next question is, are we going to work on private client and server logs also as a L1? Yes, as a L1, you need to log into the private client and check the, like doing the health check. You need to check, you need to log into every server and need to check like if that server is healthy or not, there are some critical issues going or not, the disk space is full or not, and the services are running or not. And also you can check the logs also, event logs also, if there are some many critical issues or not. So that's the L1 task will include it. I heard it's customized apart from the Vault 1858. We can give for SNMP or ticketing system, etc. So customized port you are asking? Yes, if you want, because CyberArk port is 1858. So if you want to use some customized port, a different port, if you want to use, yes, you can use that port. And 1858 is for your internal communication, for your CPM and PSM and your PVW. For that internal communication, 1858 port is used. For outside, like your CPM, your PSM, your this PVW, like if you want to connect to the target server, because CPM will be changing the password. For that, it requires the different ports, like 22 for Unix. For Windows, it's required 135, 139, 445. So for that you need an external firewall, and there you need to allow the communication. We can give for SNMP or ticketing system, etc. SNMP is generally used for the monitoring purpose, for your logs, for your vault only. And ticketing system is a separate thing. Ticketing system means you are integrating your like CyberArk with the ticketing system BMC, Remedy, or ServiceNow. So automatically ticket gets created when there is an issue in CyberArk. That's a different ticketing system is a different thing. And guys, subscribe to this channel. I think many of you haven't subscribed to this channel. Please subscribe so that you can get the notification when a new video, or if I'll be coming live, you will get a notification. Path for port opening. Which path you wanted to know? Because as I said, there is an external firewall team is there. You need to reach out to them for the port opening. If you want to open the locally, then you need to go to the on local server. There is a advanced firewall, and you need to create the inbound and outbound rules, and there you can just provide the which port number you want to open from one server to another for the communication. Okay. Abdul, tips for any interview. So Abdul, I would say focus on the basics, get your basics strong, then you can appear for any interview. If you are good in the basics, your the basic components and the workflow and etc., you can easily can clear any interview. So your basics should be strong. Is CyberArk career is safe for how many years we can't expect this technology? CyberArk is one of the leading technology, and it will never be going down, because we need PAM to secure our server, because every company has its confidential data. So it's a good career to start with. And after like getting a job and having a good experience, you can also learn different technologies also, so that you are not restricted to one technology. You can learn different technologies also. Next question is where we can find the WinSCP configs. WinSCP is a file transfer protocol. Like using the WinSCP, you can transfer the files, because on Linux server we cannot directly copy paste, just like the Windows. So to transfer the files, to copy paste the file to a Linux server, there is a WinSCP is used. So it's a FTP, file transfer protocol. It's not the like the configuration you will find. It's there. If you will see, if you will go to the PSM server in the component section in the installation directory of PSM, you will find the WinSCP. Ratio. Next question is Secapps learning first channel. Why you closed? I didn't close because there was a copyright strike by CyberArk. So channel got deleted. That's why I didn't close. That's why I opened this new channel. Okay, what is the config file of PSM? There is a basic psm.ini file which is the main configuration file of the PSM. You will find that file in the installation directory of the PSM. Difference between PAM and PAS. What are the keys required for core PAS installation? So PAM is your privilege access management, and access management means like a right identity having the right access. In your organization you will be having some access base, like L1 is having the read only access, L2 having more access, and connecting, like after you are connected to a server, so what type of access you have, so that is managed by the PAM. You can manage with the PAM. So right identity is having the right access, and in that you have the different layers of security, and your session is isolated and all. And whereas PAS is the combination of PIM plus PAM, and in PAS you have the privilege, it's a privilege access security along with the identity management, your password management, your access management. You have the different tools like PTA and the your EPM, OPM, etc. Those are used for the automation purpose and isolating the network, the your session. So that is your PAS. It's the combination of PIM plus PAM. What are the keys required for the core PAS installation? There are the operator CD, and which is used to install your CyberArk, and there is a master CD also when your there is a critical situation when your everything is down, or you want to restore, or you want to log in with the master user. You can use that master CD. In master CD you will find a recovery private key. Sorry, screen hung. Could you please repeat about the WinSCP config? So WinSCP is a FTP, file transfer protocol, and this is generally used to if you want to transfer the files to a Linux server, because you cannot copy paste some files or want to copy paste something on a Linux server directly, just like the Windows. So you need to use a WinSCP. You can use that WinSCP and you can transfer the files to a Linux server or Unix server, you can say. So that is your WinSCP. It is used for transferring the file to a Linux device. Sir, what's the biggest challenges you faced related to both production and operation, so that we can aware of that in real time? I faced several challenges related to the implementation and operations also. Like some are related to sometime installing the vault, it's crashing, server was crashing, and also uh, like after when I was installing the vault server and other components also, it was failing due to because the port was not open, and the prerequisites were there was some issue with the .NET framework version, and server was having some issue that is related to the implementation. And about the operations, there are many like related to sometimes when connecting to a target server, PSM is not able to connect because there was some policy enabled on the target server which is not allowing the saved password. So that was one of the issue because that machine was hardened, and some issues related to PVWA because related to SAML, and automatically that SAML, because we have set the SAML to like to open with the V10 interface, but SAML was opening in the V9. So that also the issue, and related to load balancer also, and CPM password change. So there are several issues I have faced in the production and in operational part also, but mostly working on the implementation side, not worked much on the operations. Okay, so next question is CyberArk have scope when compared to market hotcakes like data science. Yes, CyberArk is also it's if you will search for job, you will see lots of jobs are available in CyberArk. It's because it's one of the like cyber security tool, and lots of because every organization is going behind the CyberArk because it's one of the leading in PAM technology. So just like the data science, it's also the one of the great technology to start the career with. So you can just if you are a fresher, you can start your career in CyberArk. And if you can search for the jobs also before, like if you want to start your career in CyberArk, you can look for the jobs also, how many jobs and types of job, and there are many on-site opportunities also in CyberArk. Teja Krishna, hi, may I know, is there any course to learn Defender implementation in Secapps? Yes, Teja, you can just mail me. I'll share the details with you, but we can't discuss that thing in this live. So you can just share. You can mail me. You can find out my mail ID from the about section of this channel. You can subscribe to this channel also, and then you can just mail me. I'll share the details. Okay. Which user can terminate the live sessions? So if you have the auditor permission, and you can just terminate the session also. And if you are a vault admin, like if you are part of the vault admins group, you can just terminate the session also. And your PTA also, the PTA can also terminate the session automatically. If PTA find like some suspicious activities is going on, PTA is one of the CyberArk component, can also terminate the session. Teja, sure, thank you, no problem. Okay, next question is, can we have all the component installation again in this channel? No, actually, in my previous channel, I got the copyright strike, and I believe that strike was related to the I was showcasing the CyberArk installation, and I was using their product. So they just put a copyright strike, and due to that, my channel was deleted. So I cannot upload the practical videos, but I'll try to come online on this channel, and you can mail me for the if you want those practical videos, you can just mail me. I'll share the details with you. Okay, next is, sir, what are the prerequisites required before learning CyberArk? So you should have the like overview knowledge on firewall, your Windows server, Unix server, some related to Microsoft AD, domain controller, DNS, DMZ, and what is a static IP, DHCP. So the info like knowledge related to network, some firewall and Windows and the Unix. You should have an overview knowledge so that you can start your career in CyberArk, because these are used in CyberArk. And if you and also about the protocols like RDP protocol, what is a SSH, what is LDAP, and what is HTTP, HTTPS. So you can just go through these topics, and you can like start your career in CyberArk. Next question is CPM scanner services use. So this service is generally communicate to the PVW server, and this is generally used to run your auto discovery, running the auto discovery to onboard the account in CyberArk. For that, it is being used. Okay, so more questions, guys, or we can just wind up this session. If you have more questions, please ask, or else we can wind up this session. And also, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed. And because on every Sunday, either I'll upload a video on some about the informative. And also one more thing, uh, on Secapps learning, I would we will be starting with the new training, like just like the full stack developer, Android developer, and SailPoint, Okta. So you can just subscribe to this channel also. I'll be uploading some videos on the full stack developer, how someone can start his or her career in the full as a full stack developer if you are a fresher, or an Android developer, how you can develop the Android apps, and also about the other training also. So I'll be uploading these some videos, some introduction videos. So you can just, if you want to switch the career in in the development also, so you can just enroll onto that. Okay, Abdul, how to share the password of a user which is fast using break glass concept. So you can just copy paste and share with the user in the break glass concept. If you got the password, if you have retrieved the password using the recover.exe, and or the if you are using the AIM to get the password, so you can share with the user on one-to-one, so that he can just log into the target servers manually. Meanwhile, you are fixing up your production or DR vault if there is any critical situation. Okay, Sai, could you tell me about privilege secure tunnel service users? Actually, Sai, I recently started working on the privilege cloud, so I am not much aware about the users, but I know on a connector server, we can install this secure tunnel service is getting installed, and CPM and PSM is getting installed on the same server, and we have a different connector for the Unix. ABCD, sir, Cyberark material which can be purchased. Yes, please mail me. You can find my mail ID from the about section of this channel, and then you can just mail me. I'll share the details with you. Sai, it's like DR. No, it's not like the DR. This is a separate thing. It's a privileged cloud. It's one of the service of the privileged cloud. SAS. So please answer my question. You skipped one question. Uh, okay, book on complete CyberArk. Sorry. So there is a online document. If you will search for CyberArk, you will find find a website, docs.cyberark.com. In that, you can just find out the CyberArk related thing. Every document is there in Cyber for CyberArk. Just Google it, you will find that. I have heard from a friend they use some key pass tool. Uh, they might be using for encrypting it. So because sharing the password in a plain text, they might be using a key pass tool which is encrypting that password. So it totally depends upon the company to company and which tool you are using. But if there is a disaster scenario, you can share the password in a plain text. Meanwhile, you are fixing your CyberArk. When your CyberArk is fixed, you can rotate the password. That's it. And also, again, I would like to bring out one thing. So soon I'll be uploading some videos on the full stack developer, how someone can become a full stack developer and Android developer. On the same this YouTube channel, I'll be uploading some videos. So if you are a fresher or someone wants to work in the development, you can just watch those videos and you can enroll to the training also. So, because it's also one of the great field to start your career, especially for the freshers. because most of the time the fresher doesn't know which career to choose from. Either you can go with the full stack developer or Android developer, or to the cyber security. Okay, Sai, when you are going to start privilege cloud training? Sai, soon I'll start that training because recently I started working on it. So once I get that experience, for sure I'll start something on to that. Okay, so guys, thank you for joining, and I got to go somewhere. So thank you for joining, and if someone has not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel and also like this video. And on every Sunday, I'll try to upload a video now, or else I'll try to come live on this channel so that we can discuss about CyberArk. So, and if you want to reach out to me, please go to the about section of this channel, Secapps Running, and there you will find my email ID. If you will click on the business enquiries, you will find my email ID, and you can just mail me and we can discuss anything. You can just reach out to me via mailbox. So, okay, let me put in the chat. So, if Secapps Learning. So this is the my mail ID. So you can just mail me to this mail ID I have pinged in this chat. So just mail me and then we can discuss about if you have some errors or want to discuss anything. You can just mail me. We'll discuss. Okay. So thank you guys for joining and have a good day. Thank you.